was already the top scorer in Champions League history, but they said his era was coming to an end. But then the 2017/2018 season happened, and Cristiano Ronaldo made sure to shut everyone up.
Cruzamento, Cristiano!
There was a tough group stage with Tottenham, a heavy knockout stage against PSG, a Cristiano masterclass in Turin, complete with that legendary bicycle kick and applause from the rival fans, a disastrous mistake in the final against Liverpool, and an insane goal from Bale that was the icing on the cake. This is the story of the Champions League that secured Real Madrid's three-peat and once again put him the man, the machine, the caged beast, Cristiano Ronaldo at the top of European football. But nothing was easy, and the road to the Champions League title had it all. The journey began on home turf at the Santiago Bernabeu against the modest APOEL. But anyone who thought it would be a slow game was dead wrong, because before the 12-minute mark, Real was already showing why they were the reigning two-time European champs. On a counterattack, Gareth Bale sent a wicked cross into the box, and guess who showed up? The man himself, Cristiano Ronaldo. The number 7 appeared wide open at the far post behind the defender who was just watching. No chance. Clinical finish. Goal for Real. Goal for Cristiano. 1-0 on the scoreboard. And the celebration in his signature style. He jumped high, spun in the air, and let out the roar. In the second half, Real came back firing on all cylinders. Right in the first minute, Carvajal sped down the wing and whipped a perfect cross into the box. Cristiano appeared like a rocket between the defenders. Got ahead of his man and hit it first time. The shot was powerful, clean. The ball smashed against the crossbar, bounced on the line, and unbelievably, it didn't go in. The stadium went silent for a second, but the message was sent. CR7 was in the zone, and that was just a warning of what was to come. A few minutes later, another lethal attack from Real. Bale got the ball on the left, looked into the box, and sent in another dangerous cross. Cristiano was getting ready to shoot, but before the ball reached him, the defender Roberto Lago tried to clear it any way he could, and the ball ended up hitting his shoulder inside the box. The ref saw it all up close, and instantly, he pointed to the spot. Penalty for Real! Cristiano coolly grabbed the ball and smashed a low, hard shot into the bottom left corner. The keeper guessed the right way, but couldn't reach it. 2-0 to Real. And check this out. Even after scoring, Cristiano started running, grabbed the ball from the back of the net, and ran back to the halfway line, hungry for more. The man was obsessed. The show wasn't over yet. At the 60-minute mark, more punishment was coming. Sergio Ramos made an interception in midfield, played a quick pass to Marcelo, and then the magic started. Notice how while the fullback dribbles down the left, the Real captain makes a lightning-fast run with no one tracking him. Marcelo then launched the ball to the far post. Bale got up well and hit a firm header, but the header was blocked on its way, and the ball fell cleanly. At whose feet? Sergio Ramos. With his back to the goal, he did the unexpected, as if he were a number 9. He goes for a bicycle kick, the first of many for Real in that Champions League. The ball bulged the back of the net without mercy. What a goal! 3-0 to Real. Near the end, Cristiano had the chance to cap off the night with a hat trick. Modric, with his usual incredible vision, threaded a perfect low cross into the middle of the box. CR7 attacked the space like a predator and hit it first time. The ball went into the back of the net, but there was no time to celebrate. The flag went up, offside, and yeah, it was the right call. Cristiano was clearly ahead of the line. The hat trick slipped away by inches, but the message had been delivered. 2 goals in the opener, and the hunger for the Champions League was just getting started. The second match promised to be more challenging against Borussia Dortmund at the Germans' home ground where Real had never won. The game started evenly, and at 13 minutes came the first controversial moment. After a great save by Navas from a shot by Philippe, the ball hit Sergio Ramos' arm inside the box. Dortmund screamed for a penalty, but the ref waved play on. Nothing given, and then Real responded with force. With less than 18 minutes on the clock, the Merengues went on the attack. Carvajal found space in the final third. Look at this detail. Cristiano Ronaldo drew the defenders and left Bale all alone to receive the pass. Carvajal then sent a pinpoint long ball. Bale hit it first time and curled it into the top corner with his left foot. Banger. The away fans went wild. 1-0 to Real Madrid. Halftime came and the second half started on fire. Just at 48 minutes, Bale received a through ball on the left. He looked up and saw him, Cristiano Ronaldo. A perfect low cross. The goal scorer got ahead of his man and finished first time with his left. Goal by CR7. More celebrations from the Madrid fans. 2-0 to Real. But Dortmund didn't give up, pushed on by the yellow wall. At 53 minutes, Gonzalo Castro crossed from the left. Aubameyang appeared in the middle of the defense, beat Sergio Ramos to the ball, and tapped it into the goal. Dortmund pulls one back 2-1, and the German crowd erupted, but Real wasn't fazed. They stayed solid, and at 78 minutes, Modric looked up and sent a precise pass. The ball found Cristiano Ronaldo at the edge of the box. He just took a quick glance at the keeper and unleashed a rocket with pure class. What a goal! Ronaldo's second of the game. The classic celebration from the Portuguese star. 3-1 to Real Madrid, full time. A historic win, the second step towards the title of that unforgettable Champions League. Now it was time to face Tottenham at home. Both teams with a 100% record. First place in the group was on the line, and Real started strong. Less than 5 minutes in, Hakimi got the ball on the right and crossed it into the middle of the box. Cristiano Ronaldo popped up out of nowhere and headed it powerfully off the post. On the rebound, Benzema had an open goal, but unbelievably, he wasted the chance. But the English side was not intimidating. At 27 minutes, Tottenham built an attack down the right. Aurier sent in a dangerous cross. Harry Kane tried a back heel flick, but the ball deflected off Varane. It wrong-footed keeper Keylor Navas, who could do nothing. Goal, 1-0 to Tottenham. An explosion of joy from the English fans at the Bernabeu. Real needed to react, and they pushed forward. At 41 minutes, Benzema held up the ball with class, shielded it, and laid it off for Toni Kroos, who was storming the box. But just as he was about to shoot, Aurier came flying in from behind. A clear foul. The ref did think twice. Penalty for Real Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo placed the ball on the spot, took a deep breath, and shot into the right corner. Lloris went the other way. Goal for Real. Cristiano went to get the ball from the net, kissed it hard. He wanted more. The second half began, and Real almost took the lead right at 53 minutes. Casemiro crossed perfectly from the right. Benzema timed his run perfectly and headed it down just like the textbook says. But Lloris dived the other way and saved it with his leg. A spectacular save. On the other end, Tottenham also had a chance to kill the game. At 71 minutes, Harry Kane received a through ball. The striker was one-on-one with Navas. He placed his shot into the corner, and that's when Real Madrid's walls shined. Keylor Navas stretched out with his fingertips and saved the Spanish team. Full time, all square on the scoreboard. But this matchup still had more drama waiting in London. Now, it was time for the clash in England. Hostile territory, and Tottenham made it clear from the start. They weren't messing around. Just 26 minutes in, Trippier received a long ball behind Marcelo. Check this out. He was in an offside position, but the linesman didn't flag it. Trippier then hit a first-time cross into the middle of the box, and Dele Alli appeared between the defenders. A quick toe poke, and he sent it into the back of the net. 1-0 Tottenham. The English fans went insane. Real seemed out of it, and Spurs didn't forgive them. At 55 minutes, Dyer passed to Eriksen in the middle. The Dane cleverly let the ball run through. It ended up with Dele Alli. He controlled it, dribbled past Casemiro twice, and let fly. The ball deflected off Sergio Ramos on the way, and left keeper Kiko Casilla with no chance. His second, Tottenham's second, and it didn't stop there. At 64, a lightning-fast counterattack from the English side. Harry Kane controlled it in the middle, looked up and saw Eriksen running free through the center. A sweet pass. Eriksen was one-on-one with the keeper. He shot with his left into the corner. 3-0, a massive party at Wembley. Real still tried to fight back. At 80 minutes, a scramble in the Tottenham box. The ball fell to Borja Mayoral. He just laid it off for Cristiano Ronaldo to smash it home. A right-footed shot into the goal. Real pulls one back, but no celebration. They still needed much more, but time ran out, and the Merengues couldn't score again. Total domination by Tottenham over the 90 minutes. A serious reality check. A wake-up call for Real Madrid in the tournament. It was time to travel to Cyprus to face APOEL once again. And what happened there was a true Real Madrid masterclass. At 22 minutes, the beatdown began. Carvajal crossed from the right. The defender tried to clear it with a back heel, but sent it right to Modric's feet. And the number 10 made no mistake. He hit it on the volley. A rocket. The ball bounced right in front of the keeper and went in the corner. What a goal. 1-0 Real Madrid. At 38, another one came. Toni Kroos played a 1-2 with Cristiano Ronaldo just to draw the defense. And then he found Benzema free between the defenders. A perfect pass. The Frenchman slotted it past the keeper. 2-0. And it didn't stop there. 2 minutes later, a corner from the left. Varane rose between two defenders, flicked it on with his head, and Nacho Fernandez was wide open. Tapped it into the back of the net. 3-0. A blowout in the first half, but Real still wanted more. At 45 minutes, a lightning counterattack. Cristiano Ronaldo took on three defenders and the keeper. But instead of shooting, he rolled it to Benzema Benzema with an open goal. 4-0 Real. A goal for Benzema and an assist for CR7. And you could feel it. It was just too easy. But Cristiano hadn't gotten his goal yet, and at the start of the second half, he delivered. Marcelo crossed from the left, and the number 7 got some serious air. A powerful header. 5-0 Real Madrid. Ronaldo's first of the game. But he still had one more in him. At 53 minutes, a total mess from the APOEL defense. Benzema challenged the keeper, and the ball fell cleanly for Cristiano. He turned calmly and just pushed it into the empty net. Another one for him. Cristiano Ronaldo again. 6-0. The fans couldn't stop celebrating. A walk in the park. A proper schooling from Real Madrid to clinch their spot in the round of 16. But there was still one match left to close out the group stage, and it was against Borussia Dortmund at home. It was an epic game. Real came out flying. Before the 8-minute mark, Cristiano Ronaldo at full speed. He played a perfect pass to Isco inside the box. Check this out. 3 defenders surrounding the Spaniard, but Isco spun with genius and played a classy first-time pass. Borja Mayoral was wide open, and as the keeper came out, he just tapped it into the goal. 1-0 Real Madrid. But they wanted more. At 11 minutes, Kovacic rolled it to Cristiano at the edge of the box. The number 7 controlled it and unleashed a rocket with his right foot. A clean strike. The keeper didn't even move. Banger! Another one for him in the Champions League. Cristiano ran to the bench and hugged Marcelo. 2-0 to Real. But Dortmund was still alive. At 42, Schmelzer took advantage of a bad giveaway from Real Madrid. He stole the ball and crossed from the left. Aubameyang appeared with a diving header and pulled one back. 2-1. And it didn't stop there. Right at the start of the second half, Sign passed to Kagawa in the middle. The Japanese player did something brilliant. A back heel pass. It caught everyone by surprise. Aubameyang stormed the box, dribbled past Sergio Ramos. He shot. Navas made the save. But on the rebound, the number 17 chipped it over him. The equalizer. 2-all. But Real didn't want to slip up at home, and they kept pressing until it's 78 minutes. A corner from the left for the home team. Casemiro rose in the middle of the defense and headed it firmly. The ball took a deflection, fell to Cristiano Ronaldo, who poked it into the net. But the assistant raised his flag. Offside. And yeah, Cristiano's heel was just ahead. But Real didn't give up. 2 minutes later, a scramble in the Dortmund box. The ball went up. Theo Hernandez headed it towards the middle. Lucas Vasquez hit it on the volley. The ball deflected off the defender Schmelzer and died in the right corner of keeper Berkey's net. 3-2. The Bernabeu erupted full time. A statement win for Real on the road. But despite that, the group stage ended with Tottenham in first place. Now, the Champions League allowed no more mistakes. It was knockout time. And right away in the round of 16, Real faced the PSG of Neymar, Cavani, and Mbappe. Big game atmosphere at the Bernabeu, and the Madrid team started on the front foot at 27 minutes. Marcelo from the left sent a cinematic long ball to Cristiano. However, Areola came flying off his line and made a massive save with his face, denying CR7 a goal. But the team that scored first was the French side. At 32, Mbappe crossed dangerously from the right. Neymar battled with Nacho in the middle of the box. The ball fell cleanly to Rabiot. All alone, he curled it with his right foot, beating Navas. 1-0 PSG. The French fans celebrate at the Bernabeu, but Real didn't take long to react. At 43 minutes, Toni Kroos burst into the box from the left and was pulled down by Lo Celso. Clear penalty. Cristiano calmly took the ball, took a deep breath, closed his eyes, breathed again, and smashed it into the left corner. Areola went the right way, but it was no use. Goal by CR7. 1-all. Real equalized before halftime, but the comeback only came at the end. At 82 minutes, Asensio sent a low cross from the left. Areola parried it away, but the ball hit Cristiano's left knee inside the 6-yard box. 2-1. Real Madrid come back. Ronaldo's second of the game, and the crowd exploded at the Bernabeu. 3 minutes later, another one came. A triangle play on the left. Marcelo passed to Asensio and ran into the box like a striker. Asensio passed it back, and the fullback was all alone to finish. The ball deflected off Marquinhos and ended up in the back of the net. 3-1 Real Madrid. A kiss to the badge, and the fans went wild. Full time, and Real took the advantage with them. The second leg was at PSG's home ground at the Parc des Princes to confirm their spot in the next round. The team that needed a result was the French side, but the best chance of the first half fell to Real. At 37 minutes, Marcelo launched it from the back. The ball dropped to Benzema. One-on-one with the keeper. The Frenchman tried to finish, but Areola closed the goal with his left leg. A miracle from the keeper. The goals were saved for the second half, and at 50 minutes, through the smoke from the French fans' flares, Lucas Vasquez found space between 3 defenders. He got free in the box, received the pass from Asensio, and crossed from the left. At the far post, there he was, Cristiano Ronaldo. He jumped high and headed it firmly. 1-0 1-0 Real Madrid. Another goal for CR7. More advantage for the Merengues. The game heated up at 65 minutes. Verratti lost the ball, surrounded by 3 Real players. He complained way too much to the ref, and he was already on a yellow. Second card, sent off. PSG down to 10 men, and Real sensed their moment. At 68, slick attack from the Merengues. One-touch passing until they were in the box. Benzema passed to Asensio, who hit it with his left, off the post. Another near miss, but PSG was still brave. At 70 minutes, a well-worked corner from the right. Pastore headed it. The ball hit Casemiro, then Cavani, and went in. A lucky goal, 1-1 in Paris. However, the night still belonged to Real. At 79, Cristiano drove down the right. Pay attention to Casemiro. Notice he's coming from deep, all alone, with no one marking him. Back to the play, Ronaldo rolled it to Lucas Vazquez, who crossed it into the box. Rabiot tried to clear. Cristiano tried to control it, but the ball fell to Casemiro, who was still unmarked. First time shot. The ball deflected off Marquinhos and looped over Areola. 2-1 Real Madrid. And at the end of the game, Real almost extended their lead. Bale crossed precisely from the left. Lucas Vazquez appeared near the 6-yard box. He placed his shot with his right foot, and the ball smashed against the post. Full-time. Spot in the next round secured. And now, in the quarterfinals, they would meet an old rival. It was Juventus. It could have been a rematch of the 2016/2017 final. The game was in Turin. The Italians wanted revenge, but just 2 minutes in. A reality check for the Juve fans. Real passing play down the left. Look at Benzema. He moves, disrupts, confuses the defense. Isco sends in a low cross, and Cristiano Ronaldo gets there first with ease. Taps it into the back of the net. No chance for Buffon. Another one for Ronaldo. 1-0 Real Madrid. Juve tried to react. At 22, a dangerous free kick. Dybala whipped it into the box, and Higuain appeared in the middle of the defense. He redirects the ball towards the goal, but Navas made a massive save. On the other end, Real wanted more. At 35 minutes, Benzema holds up the ball with class. Laid it off for the arriving Toni Kroos. The German unleashed a rocket off the crossbar. The bar was left shaking, but the best was yet to come. At 63, time to make history. Marcelo launches it to Cristiano. Chiellini challenges and gets in Buffon's way. Cristiano doesn't give up. He chases the ball, controls it, passes to Lucas Vazquez. First time shot, Buffon saves. Carvajal gets the rebound, crosses it back into the box, and then Cristiano Ronaldo rises into the air, twists his body, and unleashes a spectacular bicycle kick. 2-0 Real Madrid, one of the most legendary goals in Champions League history. Buffon was frozen, the defense speechless, and the entire stadium applauding the greatest goal scorer in Champions League history. It was Cristiano Ronaldo showing once again why he is the king of Europe. 2 minutes later, a reckless challenge by Dybala on Carvajal. High foot in the middle of the pitch. Totally unnecessary. The Argentine was already on a yellow. Sent off, and Real didn't stop. At 71, Cristiano, Marcelo, and Isco tore through the Juve defense. Quick passing, a silky 1-2. Marcelo was surrounded by 4 defenders. Even so, he found Cristiano, who returned the pass perfectly. Marcelo chipped it over Buffon and ran to make sure it went in. Another banger, assist from CR7, 3-0 Real Madrid. And there was still more. At 86 minutes, Lucas Vazquez crossed from the left. Cristiano chested it down, played it back, and Kovacic let fly off the crossbar again. Real was relentless. But Juventus wasn't going to give up on the tie easily. The return leg was at home, and the Madrid fans were singing loud at the Bernabeu. But before the 2-minute mark, Juventus showed they weren't going to roll over. Khedira crossed from the right, and Mandzukic appeared unmarked at Carvajal's back. Powerful header. No chance for Navas. 1-0 Juve. The game was electric. At 9 minutes, Modric found Bale in the box. One-on-one with Buffon. He shot firmly. Buffon save. On the rebound, Bale tried a back heel, but sent it wide. Then, at 13, Cristiano went at them with his step-overs. Unleashed a shot. Another save from Buffon, but Isco scored on the rebound. But the flag went up offside by millimeters. On the other side, Juve still believed. And at 36, Lichtsteiner crossed from the right. Mandzukic showed up again. Header into the corner. It looked like a replay of the first goal. Navas got a touch, but couldn't keep it out. 2-0 Juventus. Celebration and hope for the Italian fans. Before halftime, another near miss for Real. At 46, Kroos took a perfect free kick. Varane headed it firmly, but the ball smashed against the crossbar. The second half started tense, and at 59, another cross from Juve from the right. Douglas Costa sent it into the box. Navas made a huge mistake trying to catch it. The ball fell cleanly for Matuidi, who poked it into the goal. 3-0 Juventus, and the game was heading to extra time. But the Merengues wanted none of that. At 92 minutes, ball into the Juve box. Cristiano headed it down towards the middle. For Lucas Vazquez, Benatia came in to challenge and touch the ball. There was contact, but it was controversial. The ref pointed to the spot. The Juventus players were furious and mobbed the referee. Buffon lost his cool and got a red card. Szczesny came on to replace him to face Cristiano Ronaldo for the penalty. The number 7 took a deep breath, ran up to the ball, and smashed it into the top corner. No chance for the keeper. Goal for Real Madrid, the goal that sealed the tie. Cristiano took off his shirt, and the Bernabeu went absolutely nuts. 4-3 on aggregate. Real Madrid into the semifinals. Now, Real had another old rival ahead of them, Bayern Munich. Another rematch of last season's clash. First leg at the Allianz Arena. Big game vibes in Germany, and it was Bayern who struck first. At 27 minutes, James Rodriguez left the ball for Kimmich in midfield. The fullback took off like a bullet, driving forward. He burst into the box, looked for Lewandowski arriving, but decided to go for it himself. He shot hard. What a goal! 1-0 Bayern Munich. The response came at the end of the first half at 43 minutes. Carvajal headed the ball down into the middle of the box. The defense didn't clear it, and it fell to his feet. Marcelo. First time, he unleashed a left-footed cannonball into the corner. Unstoppable. 1-1. The away fans erupted. The comeback came in the second half at 56. Rafinha made a bad pass in the final third, and it went right to Asensio's feet. The number 20 sent Lucas Vazquez through on goal with pace and ran free through the middle. He got the return pass and classily chipped it over the keeper Ulreich. 2-1 Real Madrid. A party for the Merengues at the Allianz Arena, but Bayern didn't give up. 2 minutes later, at 58, Ribéry caused chaos inside the Real box. He dribbled, weaved through, and shot for the corner. Navas saved it. Spectacular save. And at 87, the Madrid wall shined again. Tolisso put Lewandowski through one-on-one with Navas. The keeper came out at the perfect time, closed down the angle, and the striker sent it wide. Full time, 2-1 Real Madrid. Advantage secured, but the second leg still had much more in store. The return leg was at the Bernabeu. Everything was still up for grabs, and Bayern went all out. Just 2 minutes in, a cross from the right, a scramble in the Real box. Sergio Ramos tried to clear it. The ball hit Tolisso and fell perfectly for Kimmich. Place shot, 1-0 Bayern. At that moment, the first leg advantage was gone, but Real didn't take long to respond. At 10 minutes, Marcelo delivered a perfect cross. Absolutely perfect. Benzema rose above Alaba and headed it home firmly. The equalizer, 1-1. The Bernabeu went wild. Then at 32, almost another for Bayern. Hummels found Lewandowski in the middle. The Polish striker shot right at Navas. The ball went up. Miller challenged Marcelo, and it fell to James Rodriguez with no keeper, but the Colombian skied it. A goal that could have changed the entire course of the competition. Unbelievable. Right at the end of the first half. Controversial moment. Kimmich crossed from the right, and the ball hit Marcelo's hand inside the box. After Lewandowski continued the play and shot wide, the Bayern players were screaming for a penalty, but the ref waved play on. After the break, the comeback happened. Bayern started with possession, passing it around at the back. Tolisso passed back to Ulreich, and watch the disaster that happened. The keeper had a total howler. Benzema took the gift and just tapped it into the goal. 2-1 Real Madrid. The Bernabeu was rocking. A mistake that cost Bayern the tie, but the German club still believed. At 62, Sule crossed from the right. James Rodriguez appeared. He shot hard. The ball smashed into Varane, but it came right back to him. On the rebound, a shot into the corner between Navas's legs. 2-2. James didn't even celebrate. Bayern was just one goal away from going through, but Real shut up shop. A total lockdown. Full time. Relief for Real Madrid. Ticket to the final punched. The final match was in Kiev, the most anticipated night of the season. On one side, Real Madrid seeking an unprecedented consecutive three-peat. On the other, the most historic team in England, with an attack that struck fear into opponents. Salah, Mane, and Firmino looking to start a new era. But Real wanted to end theirs on a high note. Cristiano Ronaldo had already won 4 Champions Leagues. But now, he didn't just want one more. He wanted to say goodbye in glory. With the trophy in his hands and Europe once again at his feet, the game started evenly. But at 25 minutes, destiny changed everything. Sergio Ramos challenged Salah in midfield. The Egyptian fell with his shoulder locked awkwardly on the ground. Silence in the stadium. He tried to continue, but the pain was too much. Salah left the field in tears, and with him seemed to go Liverpool's attacking soul. Minutes later, more drama. At 33, Carvajal challenged Robertson. He landed badly on his left foot. Injury, and another player leaves lose the final in tears. The game was tense, gritty. At 42, Isco crossed from the right. Cristiano headed it powerfully. Karius saved it. Benzema got the rebound and poked it in. But the flag went up offside. End of the first half, 0-0. But the second half had so much more emotion in store. At 47, Marcelo passed towards the middle. Lallana made a poor clearance, and the ball fell to Isco. His shot smashed against the crossbar. Real came so close to opening the scoring. Then at 50 minutes, Real Madrid made no mistake. Cruz launched a ball forward for Benzema, a very strong pass. Karius came out to collect it, but he tried to distribute it too quickly and made the biggest mistake possible. Benzema stuck out his leg, and the ball went straight into the goal. An absurd error in a Champions League final. 1-0 Real Madrid. Celebrations for Madrid in Ukraine. But Liverpool reacted quickly. At 54, a corner taken by Milner. Lovren jumped higher than Sergio Ramos and headed it powerfully. Navas got in position to save it, but then Mane popped up to finish it. With his right foot, he sent it into the back of the net. It's level, 1-1. The game was on fire again, but Real still had a card up their sleeve, a card named Bale. Zidane called Bale from the bench, and with less than 3 minutes on the pitch came one of the most insane moments in Champions League history. Marcelo crossed from the left. Bale positioned himself, spun in the air, and hit a perfect bicycle kick. The ball flew perfectly into Karius' top corner. No chance, no logic, no explanation. What a goal. The stadium was stunned for a second, everyone trying to process what had just happened. 2-1, and Real was back in control of the final. Liverpool tried to respond. At 69, Wijnaldum played a 1-2 with Mane. The number 19 tried his luck from outside the box. A powerful shot. The ball smashed against the post. Almost the equalize, but the punishment came later. At 82, Marcelo switched the play to Bale. The Welshman controlled it, set himself up, and unleashed a rocket straight down the middle of the goal. The ball went straight through Karius' hands and bulged the back of the net. Another howler. 3-1 Real Madrid. Look at the German keeper's reaction. He looked like he was having the worst day of his life. Full time in Kiev. Another trophy, Real's 3rd Champions League in a row, and Cristiano Ronaldo's 5th European Cup. He wasn't the one who decided the final with goals, but he was the one who led them through every stage of the campaign. He was the one who carried Real to that point. He was the one who scored 15 times in that Champions League. And on that night, even without hitting the back of the net, the whole world knew one thing. Cristiano Ronaldo ended his last season at Real showing who the true king of the Champions League is. And if you watched this far, it's because you liked the video. So go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. And now, comment down below. What was the best goal of this Champions League? Gareth Bale's bicycle kick in the final against Liverpool, or Cristiano Ronaldo's legendary bicycle kick against Juventus? Also, comment suggestions for other videos you want to see on the channel. And now, click on these videos popping up on your screen. I'm sure you'll love them. My name is Christian Castro, and that was today's video.